Today we're going to talk about a subject that's very important for the final product that you make, and that's cheese. Cheese is a sensitive subject, especially in my area, because I don't have access to the type of cheese that they have in southern Italy or that they have maybe in the New York area or in California. I'm in Texas and I have some limited choices. Let's talk about what the best cheese is for me to use here. And today we're going to do an experiment. We're going to put Kirkland cheese, fresh mozzarella, up against Trader Joe's fresh mozzarella and see how each one of them fares. I went to one of my favorite pizza places here. It's called Pizzeria Testa. And I asked them once what type of cheese they use, and they said they bought their mozzarella at Costco. But at the time, Costco was selling the Bel Gioioso mozzarella, and they recently replaced it, when I say recently, within the past year, with Kirkland brand fresh mozzarella. It looks a little bit different. It looks like they're trying to imitate the Bel Gioioso. They don't quite do it right, in my opinion. And we'll talk about why the cheese, the Kirkland cheese, tends to burn, whereas the Bel Gioioso did not. The first thing you'll notice between the Kirkland and the Bel Gioioso mozzarella is that the Kirkland mozzarella uses citric acid in its process and the Bel Gioioso does not. It uses enzymes only, which is usually a sign that they're taking some shortcuts, in my opinion, having made mozzarella both ways. And the Kirkland mozzarella, because of that, is likely to have a shorter shelf life, which is probably the reason that the Kirkland mozzarella has more sodium, because it needs something to preserve the cheese a little bit longer. Another thing that I've noticed is that the Kirkland fresh mozzarella burns more quickly than the Bel Gioioso fresh mozzarella. That, in my opinion, comes from the difference in cholesterol. It's about 1/3 more cholesterol in the Bel Gioioso than in the Kirkland, and indicative of something that's going on in the process. So I definitely think there's enough of a difference between these two cheeses that bears further investigation. I couldn't find the Bel Gioioso at a reasonable price, so I got the closest thing. I went to Trader Joe's, and we're gonna try this cheese. Now, Trader Joe's says that this is actually made for more of salad, for eating fresh directly, this mozzarella. And they have a pizza cheese, but their pizza cheese is a little bit too dry. So today, we're going to put these two against each other, and let's see which one wins. When comparing Trader Joe's to the Bel Gioioso, you'll notice that the nutrition profile is much more similar to that than of the Kirkland cheese. And also, the Trader Joe's cheese uses rennet and also uses vinegar. Those two ingredients are important to the process of making the cheese. The vinegar, interestingly enough, is similar to the citric acid, which is used on the Kirkland cheese. Rennet is an enzyme-based material that is used for coagulating the cheese. So we're going to start with the Kirkland cheese. It looks like they tried to copy the Bel Gioioso. I got to admit, like, the packaging is not that great on this. The peel here sign, it doesn't really work. So I always end up opening it with the tip of my spatula there. You can kind of see how this cheese sort of pulls apart here, and you'll notice that there's a bit kind of a sort of a grainy texture to it, which is kind of indicative of a mozzarella. This would be a fior di latte because it's made with milk. Rather than buffalo milk, it's made with cow's milk. Now, the interesting thing about this mozzarella is, it claims to be fresh, but of course the expiration date's usually about a month out. Mozzarella in here, kind of pre-separate these. It does help keep the moisture down a little bit. If your cheese is too moist, then you want to drain some of the moisture out of it, or your pizza will end up being soggy and uncooked in the middle in the dough. All right, let's take a look at the Trader Joe's cheese and see how this works. You notice when I open this cheese, it's got a little more moisture around it. If we pull one of these off, it's very similar to the Kirkland cheese. Not quite the same. This is not quite as rigid. It's a little bit smoother. cutting is similar. It stays together a little bit better when I pull the strips apart. This tastes a little bit more like mozzarella to me. It's got a little bit of a fattier taste to it. Now, this definitely tastes more like the mozzarella in Italy that I'm used to. But very similar. We'll see how it stands up on the pizza. to admit, like the cheese, it's not, I'm not super tasty. I would have expected more from Trader Joe's. Get a little bit, kind of that fat hit at the end. It's good, but I was expecting more quality. This is the Kirkland cheese.
Sophia.
So, The Kirkland cheese has more flavor, but it's saltier. That's because of the salt. It's just a slightly saltier cheese. That's it. It doesn't quite have, I mean, it's got a good texture for mozzarella. I would definitely recommend continuing to make pizza with this cheese. But the Trader Joe was more expensive, and there wasn't really any, there wasn't that big of an improvement. They could have come from they could have come from the same dairy as far as I can tell.
It's good. Okay.
Okay.
There's that one.
Okay.
Oh. I vote Kirkland.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I think I could go that way too.
Creamier. It feels thicker.
Yeah, it's a little salty.
That feels like thinner.
Yeah.
And I like the more cheese, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, this melted at a little bit lower temperature than this, which is not really a great sign for the mozzarella. I mean, basically, it has to do with the moisture and the fat content. So, I don't know. Like,
I like Kirkland better.
Yeah, I think so too. Next time we'll try the Bel Gioioso, see if we can come up with some other types of cheeses. But this one is pretty much a draw, maybe the win to Kirkland, I think. Okay.
Sit. You like Kirkland? Do you like Kirkland cheese? Oh, sit down.
Okay. I like the rest of the pizza. You don't need to make any more videos.